The Blackhawks beat the Winnipeg Jets 2-0. Jonathan Toews returns to the UC, and two Chicago sports heroes taking the game. We'll talk about it next on the CHGO Blackhawks postgame show. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks post-game podcast presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Hawks beat the Winnipeg Jets 2-0. I'm Jay Zawaski. That's Greg Boysen. That's Mario Tirabassi. Chloe Thiel's here running the show. We are delayed. We appreciate your patience or lack thereof. We are wrapping up our takeover in the parking lot. After the game, not great.
Yeah, you get so used to leaving the game when, well, no one's leaving the game when you guys leave after the second period.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, actually, you'd be surprised.
Well, yeah, it depends on the game.
Yeah, kid, the game's over. You have school in the morning.
It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids.
But I mean, I'm so used to leaving, and I'm like one of 3 cars left in the parking lot, so I get so aggravated to have to sit in traffic. But after tonight. A game like tonight, it's definitely easier to stomach something like that when the Blackhawks get a win. Spencer Knight has a performance like he did.
Great.
All the pomp and circumstance surrounding Jonathan Toews went off so well. You get 2 budding Chicago sports icons in Caleb Williams and Pete Crow-Armstrong in the crowd. We have our takeover event, which went really well. Like, I don't know. I don't think we could have asked for much more to go well tonight from just a personal standpoint. And for the Hawks, like what they wanted to do was honor Jonathan Toews and get a win. They did both.
Yeah, it was a great night. We're going to hear from Jonathan Toews actually later in the show. He spoke after the game, which is a bit of maybe not a huge surprise, but he made himself available after the game and had some thoughts to share on the 3.5-minute ovation. Well-deserved for him tonight. But let's get into the game here. We've been talking over the last handful of games here that the Hawks need to play a simpler game. And this was not a game, aside from the pomp and circumstance, that you're going to remember very much. Kind of a boring, low-event game. But the Hawks did what they needed to do to get the wins. They probably don't get it without Spencer Knight. But what I did see that I did like was a much simpler, much more straight-ahead, less complicated, predictable, in the words of Jeff Blashill, game from the Hawks today.
Yeah, I asked Jeff Blashill about that this morning after morning skate, about what's the key to getting back to that predictability. And, you know, he talked about having a better drive up the middle of the ice and then just taking what's given to you. And we saw a lot more of that. We saw a lot more guys getting to the blue line, and instead of trying to skate through a couple players and look for a fancy pass, just chipping it in behind, go and get it and setting it up. We saw a lot more of that tonight, and you know, just what they needed to do. They grinded one out. They had guys get to the front of the net. You know, the Jason Dickinson goal, the only goal that really mattered tonight, the only one they needed, was a great individual effort, but just get puck, shoot puck, see what happens. Like, it was just put it puck towards the net, maybe it goes in. And, you know, he kind of knocked it down, settled it down, but it was still kind of on edge, so the puck was wobbling a little bit, and Hellebuck obviously never got a good track on it, and it got by him. And that's the only one you need.
And I think we talked about this the other night, Greg, this reminder of the Hawks keep getting this reminder of when they play this way, they're getting good results. They're getting wins. And to see a shot like that go in, where Jason Dickinson's just saying, like, all right, F it. Throwing it at the net, and it's in. And, you know, caught Connor Hellebuck off guard, or he didn't see it clearly, whatever it was. It's in the net. It's the game-winning goal. That's it. They keep getting reminded that it doesn't have to be cute. It doesn't have to be fancy, and they're getting results when they play that way.
Well, and you know, you look at the scoring chances, and up until, you know, the third period when the Jets are chasing the game, like, it's pretty even. And, you know, looking here at, you know, the expected goals number from Natural Stat Trick, in the first and second periods, the Jets had a 1.65 and a 1.32 expected goals in the first two periods. When they're chasing the game, when their numbers, their analytics, their shot attempts are all inflated in the third period, it's only a 0.89. So as they're chasing the game and as they're pushing and the Hawks are trying to hold on, they're allowing less. They're allowing less quality chances. So it's one of those games where, yeah, it wasn't too highlight reel, offensive, flashy, anything like that, but you're able to grind out a win over a team that, you know, just last year was the President's Trophy winners, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this year, like, they've had tons of challenges and struggles. They've had injuries. They're a much slower team collectively, and they're in a spot that they didn't expect to be in. So all of these games, as the Jets try and, like, climb their way back into being like, oh, no, we should be in the playoff picture, they're chasing. And the Hawks, you know, we can talk about them trying to stay alive in the wild card chase and whatnot, but this is a game that you wanted to be able to come away with a win, and it wasn't going to be easy and it wasn't going to be pretty. And they were able to buy into that notion and play the style that they needed to.
Yeah, I like your point about the third period, and I thought all night, but especially in the third, the Hawks did a good job of when there were shots on goal, of taking care of the front of the net area, getting the puck out of there, not allowing a lot of second chance opportunities. And when you allow those perimeter shots, there's going to be some rebounds. There's going to be some things that deflect on the way in. And to be able to control the front of the net goes a really, really long way, because as we've been saying, you shoot the puck, you get a rebound, you get a chance to score. Maybe those rebounds were there, but those second opportunities for the Jets weren't there super often. So I think they really did a good job buckling down in front of the net. Way better game defensively today. Way, way better. Do we want to see the offense get on board too? Sure, but you got to win from the back end with this team, especially. You can't just rely on, you know, Connor Bedard to do everything right now. And it looks like potentially Frank Nazar could be back as soon as Thursday. So some help on the way for the offense.
That would be really nice. I mean, we've seen this team and heard them talk about, you know, a style of play that gets you wins in the playoffs. And it's premature to talk about this team playing in the playoffs, but this was a night where that's that kind of style. You're not going to go out every night and put up 5, 6, 7 goals and outscore your problems. Like, you're gonna have to hunker down some games, and you're gonna need sometimes to get a goalie win. And Spencer Knight, getting a performance like this out of him, you know, he hasn't recently been the guy that we saw at the beginning of the year. Still pretty good, but not to that level where we were like, he's a no-doubter to be on Team USA. To have a game like this is got to do wonders for him, for his confidence, and just feel like he's even more back in that groove that he was early this year.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, Jay, I mean, and Mario, you mentioned it, the Jets, you know, they are the biggest disappointment in the league right now. The fact that they're last place of the Central Division on January 19th after the President's Trophy, but they have been playing better at late. Mm-hmm. They had come into this game with points in 5 in a row, including a 4-game winning streak to start that stretch. So they had been creeping up. They were only 1 point behind the Blackhawks coming into the night, so getting a regulation win is big. And the Jets are a team that plays playoff hockey pretty much every night. Mm-hmm. They're big, they're heavy.
Yep.
They do a lot of damage in between the dots in front of the net. We saw them try to do that, but to your point earlier, Jay, the Blackhawks did a really good job of limiting the action in front of the net. And one thing that really impressed me tonight was how good the Jets defensemen were at keeping the puck in.
Yep.
There were a lot of times with Blackhawks, because so much was collapsing to the front of the net, they were kind of just chipping it up against the boards or out, and there's Logan Stanley or Josh Morrissey, you know, right there keeping it in, or even our old pal Isaac Phillips. Where was the Isaac Phillips video?
I know,
tribute?
for real.
I mean, you get more than one TV timeout.
That's
He
why I
should
paid
have
to
got
see.
one. You know,
That's why I had my welcome back Isaac sign, but no one put the camera on me.
It's a big disappointment.
He had 629. 2 shots on goal and 629 though.
maybe they gave him one in Rockford when he played his first game back there earlier this year.
They thought it counted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, talking about keeping it at the line, that's something that whenever I think of one of the things that very few people talked about the Dynasty Hawks was like pucks never left the zone. Keith and Seabrook and Hjalmarsson, they just had this knack for getting over there and keeping him in. And I will say that is one of the things that Artem Levchinov has shown early in his career is the ability to keep the puck alive at the line. Better game for him tonight, by the way. Physical in front of the net. Saw him laying the wood to a couple people a few times. Nothing jumps off the page. 19-12 of ice time, so almost 5 minutes less than the last game. 1 shot, 3 shot attempts, 2 block shots, and credit with a giveaway. But just more steady. Didn't see the fumble Ruskies like we've seen from him lately.
Yeah, he had a game where you're fine with a defenseman. On nights you don't really notice a defenseman out there, he's doing his job.
Right.
You are going to notice Artie a lot just because of what he does when he has the puck, but there wasn't a lot of that. He made a great defensive play on the second period power play. Early in that power play, they kind of fumbled the puck at the blue line, and he got back and dove and prevented a shorthanded scoring chance. So good play there by him. But talking about defensemen, one thing that really jumped out at me today watching Josh Morrissey play reminded me, and I'm going to preface this by saying they're not the same player, they're not on the same level, but Josh Morrissey, Wyatt Kaiser has a lot of that in his game.
Well, they wear the same number.
There you go. But just the way Josh Morrissey is the best player at the blue line, walking that puck along the blue line. We saw him do it many times tonight. But just the way Wyatt Kaiser uses his feet to open up shooting lanes when he has the puck, Morrissey does that so well too. And if that's where his trajectory is headed, it's a pretty damn good third-round pick.
Sure.
But, it was fun watching those two guys. You see Morrissey do it on one end, and then like 3 shifts later, Kaiser's making, not to the same level, but making the same
Similar.
type of play where you're going, oh, wow, that's really cool that he's progressing into something like that, where it's just another factor of his game that we didn't see last year or the year before.
That's a really interesting comp because I think even like as we were discussing Kaiser's contract extension this summer, we're kind of saying who does he compare to? What's the ceiling on this guy? There's nothing he really excels at. He's not overly big. He's not overly physical. He's not overly fast. He doesn't have a ton of offensive upside. He's not a shutdown defender, but he's just solid at everything. And Josh Morrissey is one of those dudes that just, I can do pretty much everything you ask me to do. He'll probably never win a Norris Trophy, but he's going to be really good for a long time. And I think that Wyatt Kaiser, I know they can't extend him yet, but I'm very comfortable extending him as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, he's become one of the most reliable guys on the defensive group, and as we expect this group to get even younger than it already is, guys like Kaiser and Vlasic and they're going to be looked at as like the veterans moving forward. Crevier too, just because that their games played are in triple digits. It's not a big triple digits number, but at least it's more than guys like Del Mastro and Korchinski and Renzel have been able to play yet. So you want to be able to have those guys kind of mature a little bit quicker, and I think Kaiser's game has really gotten to that level. We saw it, towards the end of last season when he was consistently in the lineup. And then this year just has completely taken it to another level. And I got to imagine the back and forth that there was with, his contract extension this summer and then getting to what it ended up being probably is a bit of a I'm going to go out and prove that, if he was negotiating for maybe more, who knows, that he's going to say, well, no, Remember that number that I originally threw out? I told you I was worth it. Now it's going to be more the next time they have those discussions. But yeah, he's gotten just, I think, more maturity in his game. And that comes with, the repetitions and the situations he gets put in, and that we're going to see that with a lot of these young guys. I think Artem Levshinov's getting some maturity in his game as he's gone on this season, and that's what you hope for with the rest of the young defensemen that are expected to be coming up here in a couple weeks, couple months, and the opportunities that they're going to get. You want to see that maturity in their game that they've with Korchinski and Renzel. What they've kind of learned a little bit this year in Rockford, what they've developed over the last few seasons with Korchinski specifically, and see what he can do.
All right, it is time to nominate our Game Day Men's Health Game Puck nominees. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you.
I wonder who's going to win this.
Go ahead, Greg. You can do the honors and get your first nominee in there.
Well, I'll just nominate the eventual winner in Spencer Knight.
Okay. Mario?
Why the hell not?
Do we have a rule that it has to be a Blackhawk?
You can nominate Isaac Phillips if you want. Go ahead.
I'll give Jonathan Toews a nomination on his return. Didn't have the
and for not scoring an overtime winner.
Yeah, I was gonna say didn't have the game that Patrick Kane did on his return, but that's actually a good thing for the Hawks. But just to be able to get the love and the recognition a second time, really, from Blackhawks fans, and everything that he's gone through to get back to playing this year. Really just a great night for him to get that, to get all his flowers.
I was going to nominate Connor Bedard because there were a couple oh my God moments from him tonight, but I'm going to go with Alex Vlasic, a guy we've been a little bit tough on. 2 assists plus 2, 22:01 of ice time. Lots of twos in there. 2 shots on goal, 2 more shot attempts. So just, what I liked about Vlasic's game tonight was you were seeing him be a little more aggressive offensively. A couple times where he just carried the puck into the zone himself, got shots on goal, and obviously very solid defensively. So let's give a nomination to Alex Vlasic. I know we're going to talk about Connor Bedard as the show goes on, so I'm going to nominate Vlasic.
Alex Vlasic, 4-game point streak against the Winnipeg Jets.
And he was the highest rated player in the game today. A lot of that has to do with the 2 assists, but played a very, very solid game today. So good to see that from number 72. All right, we're going to hit the break zone for the first time. We are very, very close to activating Noodle Man again. Let's get to those 200 likes. We know you're out there. Hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. We'll be back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. New customers can now get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And with Bet365's early payout offer on football, you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. So download our app, use the code CHGO365 when you sign up, and you can double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. So download the app, use our code CHGO365 when you sign up. When you do, new customers get $200 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. So again, sign up, use that code CHGO365, deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. And you could use those bonuses on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Offer is in-app only.
What if you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi, and what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That, my friends, is the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together, finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And it lets you stream the game even when the whole family is online, all of your devices working in perfect harmony for 5 years at the same price. There's also no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. A lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it should stay reliable, and the price should stay put. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities with Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions, they do apply.
All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. We do want to spend some time talking about the Jonathan Toews and his return. The Giggities with a good comment says, I thought Kane's reception couldn't be topped. The Toews reception destroyed it. I have to agree with that. And I think part of it is that Patrick Kane was wearing a Red Wings sweater. I think that tempered it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
There is for men of a certain age and women of a certain age, there will never be love for that winged wheel, as there shouldn't be. But I just think there's a different level of admiration for Jonathan Toews. That is a dude who not just won 3 Stanley Cups with the Hawks, not was only the captain, but I think there's also, at least I'll speak for myself, some recognition for what he went through to get back. To go through the hell he went through to return to hockey. I feel like Jonathan Toews should be getting an ovation in every building he goes in. Maybe not a 3.5 minute
get
one.
The Derek Jeter
but it's
farewell tour.
but it is a remarkable thing that he was able to do, that he was able even to get back and look like any semblance of himself. I think that's a big part of why the cheer was sold out for Jonathan Toews. It was both thank you for what you did and holy crap, look what you've done to get back here. Congratulations.
I think that was definitely a part of it. When you look at Kane, it was kind of still fresh. It was the
season after.
Yeah, It was like less than a year that he was traded. But Toews was out of the game for 2 full years.
Yeah.
And when they did that tribute to him on his last game here, when they announced it was going to be his last game with the Blackhawks, we all left that building pretty sure that was his last game ever.
I think he did too.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to come back and play, I know he's not, the same Jonathan Toews, but nobody expected that. But he's playing at a very high level for someone who didn't play competitive hockey for 2 seasons and has played really well of late. Just recently had a 4-game goal streak. That definitely had part of it, but have him be away for 2 years, it's kind of like that old adage, how can I miss you if you don't go away? Well, he went away, literally went away, nowhere to be found for 2 years. So it was kind of like seeing your old friend that you haven't seen in a long time, and you pick up right where you left off. And he deserved every second of that and more. That was a very cool moment for a guy that is, tries, Captain Serious is his name, and, for him to have those kind of smiles out there, even during pregame warmups, there was a lot more Blackhawk fans on the visitors' side than usual. But for him to have that moment and smile and show his appreciation, you didn't see that side of him a whole lot. Usually only after winning Stanley Cups. You saw the serious, you saw the competitiveness.
Yeah.
You saw the yelling at the ref, which we got to a little bit tonight, thanks to Nick.
We got a big O card. We got the free spot.
But he deserved that. He is, he'll be here again soon to watch his number 19 go up to the rafters, and then he'll probably be here shortly after that to watch a statue of himself yelling at a referee get unveiled. And just awesome job by Blackhawk fans tonight. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and I think too, I think a lot of what made his legacy in Chicago even more special is the fact that he was the captain. And it's just it's the guy that's at the the head of the table, being the leader, being the face, being the guy that's for as many future Hall of Famers that they had in that team, and the guys that brought in those cups. So most of them were here on Saturday. He was the guy that I'd say more often than not was at the front of the line for whatever it was, whether it was appearances or selling jerseys and stuff like that. Like Toews was the guy that I think you could go to any Blackhawks fan, diehard or casual, and they would say, one of their favorites, if not their favorite.
I think the coolest moment for me was during the Canadian national anthem. It's quiet during the Canadian anthem.
Yeah.
They show Toews on the screen, and immediately
cheering,
the fans start cheering, and you could see that affected him. And then it just led to the U.S. anthem that was raucous as always.
Jim Cornelison too.
But it was just so cool to see. As soon as Toews' face showed up on that screen, people started cheering for him. And, as he took the ice for warm-ups, he got a big cheer. And everyone was there to see him. And everybody leaves with the Hawks win. kind of a perfect night. Why don't we hear from the former Hawks captain who spoke to the media after the game? Is that ready to go, Chloe? Awesome. So here's Jonathan Toews, courtesy of the Winnipeg Jets and Mark Lazarus. It was a team effort.
Crazy moment to, again, get that reception from the fans, and, you know, pretty special. Something I'll remember forever.
They didn't want to stop. They wanted you to go out there with them.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like forever. So, not sure what to do after a while in that situation. And boys kept telling me to go do another lap. And so, yeah, pretty special.
Did you see the signs, too, that were out there?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, again, like I said, I tried to do my best to take it all in, really savor it, to really appreciate the love from the fans, and obviously spent some special years here in Chicago, and that's what made playing for the Blackhawks so great. I mean, winning championships, all that stuff aside, just playing for a sports team in this city and calling this home for as long as I did was just incredible, and can't thank them enough. So yeah, so always be home and have a special place in my heart.
How hard was it to get back focused on the game once the puck dropped again?
Honestly, surprisingly, I was just kind of excited that I could just play hockey after that. And, it felt like our line was creating tonight. We had our chances. Just, I think they did a good job of clearing, second chances and pucks around their net, and didn't quite sustain enough in their zone to find a way. So, got to give them credit for how they played defensively, and would love to find a way to get a couple and get things rolling offensively tonight, but it's so very close sometimes.
Any part of you just relieved to have these kind of milestone games over and just try to focus on getting back into the playoff mix here?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, you want to have your cake and eat it too, and when you have a game like this, to go out there and have a productive night and get a big win. But these are aside from everything, it's a big division game for us with where we are in the standings, and every chance we get, we got to try and gain some ground. So obviously we didn't get that job done tonight.
You obviously had a lot of family and friends here. Does that make that moment even more special to have your parents see how much? I mean, they knew obviously, but to be there for that, do you think that?
For sure. It's special for your family and friends to get to reminisce, and even getting to see a couple of guys that still stuck around from the weekend. Life moves fast, things change, and it's fun to get the chance to look back and kind of connect with your family and friends and some of the guys you play with. That we all obviously consider ourselves very lucky for all the years that we play together here.
As an opponent, what do you see from the opposite bench against the Seattle Hawks team?
I mean, like I said, they play really well defensively. I think they're obviously growing as a team. They got some young talent, but they put a lot of speed, and I think you're seeing some more poise in their game, the way they play defensively, and the way they killed penalties too. So, got to give them credit for that.
Were there moments last couple of years where you wondered maybe I won't have a night like this?
You mean like if I was going to play again?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I never really thought of that specifically. I'm just happy I'm out there playing again. That's all I can really ask for. And, I think there's been quite a few challenges, even just getting back into the league and being with a new team this year, and a lot of little things that you got to work through to get your game back to be able to play at this level and help your team. And then it's times like this that really help you not take for granted how difficult it is to play at this level. I mean, the league just keeps getting better, and even a team like Chicago that they had a couple tough years, and then they're right back in the mix too. So, happy getting the chance to go out there and play, and all that aside, play for my hometown team is another dream come true as well.
All right, that is Jonathan Toews, courtesy of the Winnipeg Jets and Mark Lazarus. Appreciate all of that. That is a guy who sounds very grateful to be where he's at right now, and for obviously very grateful for what happened tonight for him. But just you could really sense that. I guess you'd say proud of himself for getting back to this place, to getting back to this spot. He should be.
Absolutely. I mean, we said it on the post-game show after that game. in 2022, was it?
His last game?
Yeah, 2020.
24.
20, well, no.
Yeah, it was the 23.
2023. It was
23.
23 because he never played with Bedard. So, yeah,
Right.
it was
Oh,
the
yeah,
last
you're
game
right,
of
you're right.
the
22,
23 season.
right.
We sat here on that post-game show saying whatever Jonathan Toews does going forward, we just hope that he's healthy and happy.
Yeah.
And he appears to be both of those things. So, stats be damned. I'm just glad that he is healthy enough to be one of the best hockey players in the world, playing in the NHL. So good for him, and just an overall great night.
Yeah.
The Kane time Kane was back was such a crazy day because it was the Chelios retirement, so that I think kind of took a little bit away from it too. But tonight it was all about Jonathan Toews, and then the Blackhawks went out and won a game. So I mean, it was the best of both worlds for Blackhawks fans.
Yeah, you get to celebrate twice. Toews definitely sounded like and looked like a guy that was appreciative, grateful, really taking in what this was tonight for him. So glad he's able to get it. I know when he signed with Winnipeg, I was just like, oh, that's cool. Like he'll be on a contender, and I don't know if that's going to be the case.
Who knew he'd be chasing the Hawks in the standings all year?
It'd be it'd be
not all
interesting
year.
to see what happens with the Jets over the next couple of weeks here. But it would stink to have him come back and then not be on a team that's going to be like in the playoffs or anything. But that's Winnipeg's problem. But just awesome for him to get that moment, and it really did feel like he kind of let it sink in because the last game was kind of like a surprise.
Yeah.
I think we all kind of knew like, okay, well, his contract's expiring. It's the end of the season. And then you knew the health issues he was going through. And then they were like, hey, tonight's actually going to be celebrated as Toews' last game.
Yeah.
Didn't he sit out like the road games leading up to that stretch? He missed like 3 or 4 games.
I thought he came back for the last couple weeks.
He was shut down in at the beginning of February. It was after they traded Kane, and then he was like medically had to be benched.
So he was out from his last game before he left was January 28th. Came back April 1st and played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The last 7 games of the year.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
He was visibly fighting it.
Yeah.
To play those final games.
Absolutely.
But scored a goal in the his last game as a Hawk.
And almost had the winner.
Almost had the winner. Yep.
Oh, man.
That would have been crazy.
I still go back and watch that because I was trying to get each of his overtime shifts at the end of that game, and I still go back and watch that clip, and I'm just like, man, if that puck just goes like 2 more inches to the left and goes in, that the United Center would have had to be rebuilt.
It's so crazy that both him and Kane
nearly did it.
Ended their Hawks career with near game-winning goals. Kane had that near buzzer beater slap shot.
It
and
did
then
go
Toews had
in,
the
but not in time.
Yeah, crazy.
Vegas? Was
yeah,
it the King
I
game
think it
against
was.
Vegas? Yeah.
Did he all? But then that game went to the shootout, and didn't he score in the shootout?
That I don't remember.
I gotta go look at that up.
All right, we gotta hit the break zone. We're super late. We have hit 200, so when we come back, Noodle Man will be on, but that doesn't mean stop now. Keep hitting that like button. We have an interesting historical note with Connor Bedard's 20th goal on the season, so stick around for that. More coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. Whether it's on the field or in your financial life, the best teams win by delivering excellence at every level and by finishing your routes. At Old National Bank, we believe every play matters. From everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking, our team is here to build momentum and help you move the ball forward. So whether you're celebrating a win, rebuilding after a tough loss, or gearing up for whatever comes next, we've got your back with tools, guidance, and an expert crew that's always in your corner. I can speak from experience about the wonderful people at Old National Bank. They helped me through one of life's many transitions, and they were very kind and very understanding and made a very difficult process very, very easy. So can't recommend them more. Great experience at Old National Bank, so don't hesitate. Old National Bank, where relationships and results matter, and yes, they are a member FDIC.
Hey, you know what else is important as a man? Making sure you have enough energy throughout your day.
Yes, that's a given.
If you don't feel like you have the same motivation and drive, you see that scale moving up and the hair falling out, your muscles tightening up without anything aggravating them, that might be a result of low testosterone. And it is very common as you age and something to be mindful of. Whether it's peak performance or becoming a better father, a better husband, or just a better man in general, Game Day Men's Health wants to support every man's health journey through personalized care tailored to your goals. It's a very quick and easy process. You can be in and out of their clinics in just about an hour. I've gone to Game Day Men's Health. My hair is not what it once was. They've been helping me out with that. I've already felt like it's going in the right direction. Staying put, not falling out. Start your best life with Game Day Men's Health. Check out locations in Skokie, Naperville, Libertyville, and more. You can scan the QR code to find the one closest to you, or you can go to GameDayCHGO.com to find that location.
And now we bring you our new segment, The Original Take, brought to you by Hooters. Cheer on your favorite teams from any of the 11 Chicagoland Hooters locations, or check them out at originalhooters.com. Here is the original take. This note from our buddy Tab Bamford. Connor Bedard joins these 4 players.
I thought you couldn't quiz us.
I am going to quiz you. To score 20 goals in their first 3 seasons as Blackhawks. So Bedard is the 5th. There are 4 others.
Well, one of them also played tonight, and Jonathan Toews. He
Correct.
did 12 years in a row.
That's one.
I mean,
Kane
is another.
And the obvious other 2 are Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita.
Incorrect.
But you didn't let me finish. I said they're the obvious choices.
Yes.
So one of those is probably not correct.
Neither of those is correct.
So Dennis Savard.
Dennis Savard is correct.
And
if you get this one,
20 or
I will
more,
buy you lunch.
20 or more in each of their first.
We're
3.
going to Lana Del Rey Tacos if you get this right.
I won't get it right then.
Or Hooters.
Or Hooters. Yeah.
Lana Del Hooters. Max Bentley.
Nope.
Somebody from
It's somebody random.
I bet you Windy City Hockey knows. He probably has a jersey.
He probably has the jersey of said player.
I was gonna say Marion Hossa.
You guys
but
will
I
never
guess
get
not.
this. And you know who else wouldn't have gotten it? Me. Or anyone really.
What number did he wear?
I actually don't know.
Probably played when there weren't numbers.
It is Darcy Rhoda.
Who?
Oh,
exactly.
Sure.
I love that show.
Yeah.
Darcy Rhoda.
Didn't Rhoda wear her wedding dress on the subway?
So
Isn't that who
Kane,
drinks wine
Toews,
with
Savard,
Kathy Lee?
Rhoda, and Bedard.
I know Darcy Tucker. I don't know Darcy Rhoda.
Darcy Rhoda was number 18 for the Blackhawks.
Oh, how about that?
He played from 73 to 79 with the Hawks, then spent time with the Atlanta Flames and Vancouver Canucks.
That is before my time.
Good for Darcy.
So there you go. Fun fact.
There you go. That was fun.
Talk about forgotten.
By the way,
Blackhawks.
Darcy Rhoda, 21 goals, 22 goals, 20 goals. So he was.
Hey, it still counts.
It still counts. He is still in the record
counts.
book.
He
That
did
is
something.
20
He
or
did
more.
something Bobby Hull and Stan Mikita didn't do.
Yeah.
Yes.
How about that?
100%. All right, let's get back to this game a little bit. Jeff Blashill spoke after the game. Let's hear from the Blackhawks head coach after their 2-0 victory over the Winnipeg Jets.
Night, but how did you like the fact that it seems like the guys didn't force anything tonight? They just kind of took what was there and pulled it out.
Yeah, we talked yesterday just about the understanding that we're kind of in that last stretch, 30 plus games, 40 games or whatever it is. And they're only going to get harder, and this is what it starts to look like. And you have to find ways to win games 2-1, 3-2, be comfortable in those games. And so, it was kind of fitting that that's the way the game went tonight, because that's the reality of it. And, if we want to end up becoming a playoff team and winning in the playoffs, that's what you have to do. And you have to be okay sometimes with nothing happening on a shift and taking what's given. And I thought we did a pretty good job. I thought we checked really, really hard tonight. I thought we were hard in the slot area. I thought, we did a much better job of not giving up anything easy. And when we did give up chances, Spencer was excellent.
You got to be so locked in as a coach during a game, but do you allow yourself to kind of enjoy that moment too when Toews is out there?
It would be impossible not to. It was awesome. It was incredible. what a thing just to witness. For obviously I wasn't around here during that time, but to know the passion of our fan base and how much Toews meant to the fan base and how much what he did for this organization in this city, what a thank you. And I thought it was incredible. I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you, and I've seen some pretty cool moments. So it was really, really neat, and honestly, it's one of those moments where you just feel lucky to be a part of it.
Is it kind of exciting when you see young guys on the Blackhawks and then you see like Caleb Williams and Pete Armstrong and other young guys from other teams in the city kind of getting together at other guys' events?
Yeah, it's cool, and it's cool, and even just that, that ovation was incredible. Out of nowhere, guys on the ice were like, I thought a fight was going on, which says something too. Anyways, but it's cool. It's a cool, I think there's some really really young, super talented athletes in this city, and hopefully. All of them can really enjoy success here moving forward. It's probably an unmatched sports city, so it's really cool to be a part of.
Do you think it could be a motivating factor, seeing the reception that Toews gets, Caleb Williams gets for young guys on the team?
I think they're highly motivated to win, no matter what. But it's a kind of a reminder or a perspective of why winning matters so much and why it matters more than just statistics. Certainly Jonathan Toews has great statistics, but why he's revered is because he was the captain of 3 Cup teams, and so just a kind of a perspective and reminder of how important that is.
Glenn Slager got a little run with Moore and Lardis tonight. How do you think that trio did?
Yeah, I thought they did good. I thought Morsey especially had a lot of jump today and had a really good game. And I thought both Landon and Lards played good with them. So, we'll see kind of moving forward what we do. It just obviously depends on health. Burakovsky ended up being a kind of a late scratch. Not late, but we weren't sure which way it was going to go. So, I thought it worked out pretty good overall for us.
Levshinov's been up over 24 minutes a lot over the last couple of weeks. Tonight, only around 19 minutes. Was that done intentionally to maybe he was overplaying a little bit, or just curious your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a good question. He probably didn't get, he's not the top 2 righty in the 5-on-6 situation. So then, there's like 3 minutes of ice where he wouldn't get there. Sometimes it's power play driven a little bit. Nothing super on purpose. I thought he responded with I didn't think he had his best night the other night, and I thought he responded with a really good game. So I wouldn't say it was necessarily on purpose. It was just kind of the flow of the game.
Bedard seemed due for a while for a goal, and he got the empty netter. How much of a relief do you think that is for him after his injury?
It matters, and I think scoring. I thought he certainly had a number of chances since he's been back. I thought he set up a number of people over the course a little bit. I think he could have certainly more points. It feels somewhat similar to the beginning of the season when he was playing good hockey and probably not getting rewarded production-wise with the way he was playing, and so it was good for him to be able to. I think it was good for Mickey to. Be unselfish there and pass him the puck, and good for Bedsy to bury that, and hopefully, that just starts kind of a waterfall of production.
All right, that is Jeff Blashill, courtesy of the Blackhawks, and there is Noodleman, a little bit delayed, but hey, our postgame show is delayed, so why not? By the way, for those that didn't know, after the game, Caleb Williams and Pete Armstrong went and hung out in the Hawks locker room.
How about that?
Went to visit the team, so there is some more postgame video, Spencer Knight, but it's almost impossible to hear because everyone's talking, high five, and everything.
I was listening, driving back from the arena after our takeover. I was listening to Charlie Remeliotis on WGN, and he played the Spencer Knight post game, and I was like, "Why is it so loud in the locker room?" And then he explained that those guys were in there, so obviously it was going to be a bit more lively than normally after a win.
The ovation that Caleb Williams got was almost as loud as the one Jonathan Toews got.
And
it might have been loud. It might have been louder because it was shorter.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
They showed the Bears logo on the scoreboard, and then they show him, and it's like it was like a CM Punk arriving at WWE level pop. And he was right there, like among the crowd, right in the glass in the front row.
PCA.
Wasn't hiding, and I saw him sign some hats for some kids and stuff, and it was cool. Can you share the picture, Chloe? This was posted on Twitter by @RickarMGuard34. Adam Johns posted this. This picture is really cool. It's Caleb Williams and PCA on the glass. Connor Bedard waiting for the puck at the glass, and then Jonathan Toews looking to defend Connor Bedard. It is kind of
It's a pretty cool.
It's like a Mount Rushmore of Chicago sports right there.
It is
very cool
that you have those two guys in the building honoring a past Chicago legend, as those guys are hopefully becoming the next group of Chicago legends. It's so cool that those guys are hanging out together, and I'm all for getting them to hang out with Connor Bedard and having a camera crew follow those guys around.
That would be a lot of fun.
Or remake the Pro Stars cartoon from the 80s. You remember that?
Yes.
What was that? Gretzky, Jordan, and Bo
Oh,
Jackson?
yeah. Is that what I think so.
Yeah. We could do that again.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
But it's super cool. And both of those guys.
Yeah, Jordan, Gretzky, and Bo. Yeah.
Both of those guys, Caleb Williams and Pete Crow Armstrong and Connor Bedard, they're good people. Like, they seem like really good dudes.
Yeah.
Like, we know we've gotten to know Connor Bedard a little bit, being in the room the last 3 years. He's a good kid. Like, everything about Caleb Williams, there's like all the stuff he does in the community and just the way he talks and the way his teammates love him. And the same could be said about PCA. Regardless if you're a Cubs fan or not, it's hard to argue that he's a good kid. And for those guys to be hanging out together and
fun.
supporting the Blackhawks and Connor Bedard, that's awesome. I mean, that's really cool, for the city to kind of have that. And they weren't in a suite and being like,
which would be fine if they were.
If they were in your suite, you wouldn't.
Sure.
They wouldn't. I mean, you wouldn't have batted an eye. It's
but
how many
they're right
times?
There, sitting in the glass, having a beer, watching the game, wearing their jerseys, wearing their Connor Murphy. PCA must have gotten one right in the high-low game a couple of weeks ago.
That's all you need is one right to win the jersey.
The participation trophy, a.k.a. Connor Murphy jersey.
Well, he said...
Come on, Murphy.
Who was telling us this? Oh, Danny Wirtz told us this when he came up to the suite today. I know. I'm sorry. Thank you. Let me get that. He said that when the Winter Classic happened, that that PCA remembered how cool Murphy and Foligno were to him. Yeah. And that's why he got a Murphy jersey, which completely tracks. I mean, Connor Murphy was
cooler than Foligno.
I guess so. He's a super stand-up guy. So no surprise there. But it's cool to see the Chicago sports team representing.
Well, and you've seen Bedard showed up in a Caleb Williams jersey to the game on Saturday.
Yep. And then it was him, Nazar, and Foligno at a Cubs game.
Yeah, they were at the Cubs game, one of the playoff games.
Yep.
I think didn't Caleb Williams wear a Bedard jersey?
Or today,
like to a game or something.
I think so. Yeah.
Like as like one of a walk. Or was it DJ Moore
jersey?
I don't remember.
Funny story. I know we got to hit the break zone here, but Tracy Myers, who does a wonderful job for NHL.com, was telling me this morning that she had talked to Bedard. And he had said that he DoorDashed that Caleb Williams jersey yesterday because he wanted to wear one to show support.
He just didn't have one.
He didn't have one, so he DoorDashed.
So funny.
It just imagine being some 17-year-old kid on your bike DoorDashing a jersey. And Connor Bedard answers the door.
Mean, if you answered a DoorDash and it said go get a Caleb Williams jersey, I feel like that would throw me off.
Don't the Blackhawks have somebody to do that?
I mean, all he had to do was make a call.
I wouldn't imagine
an intern whose job it is to make sure Connor Bedard.
I wouldn't imagine Connor Bedard would just go to the nearest Dick's Sporting Goods and just walk in there and be like, "Hi, I'd like a Caleb Williams jersey, please."
And you can get that at Dick's Sporting Goods.
It's probably why he got the orange one. Because it was DoorDash.
Whatever one I can get right now.
Nobody wants the orange one.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, we got to hit the break zone. More to come on the show. We do want to talk a little bit about the Sweet Night. It was a good time. Hit that like button. Back in 2 minutes on CHGO Blackhawks. Hooters is ringing in the new year with Dry January. If you're looking to be less saucy this month, Hooters has your back. Check out their Blackened Dry Rub, which pairs perfectly with a non-alcoholic beer like Mick Ultra Zero. They've also got refreshing mocktails like the Red Bull Strawberry Smash, made with Red Bull and...
Strawberry Smash?
Strawberry syrup.
Oh, Strawberry Smash syrup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Stick to your resolutions at Hooters. Absolutely. Sign me up for that resolution. Hooters is your football headquarters. Catch all the action at one of their many Chicagoland locations or order online at originalhooters.com for your watch party. Check out their field goal party pack. It's an awesome deal. 20 traditional wings, 20 boneless wings, 2 orders of fries or tots, and 4 ranch or blue cheese dressings for dipping. That's amazing. Go to the Oaklawn one. That's where I'm from, but there's a lot of options. originalhooters.com.
New vehicles are in store at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, and this is your chance to score a great deal at the Ray Resolution Sales Event. Head over to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram on Route 12 today to choose from their huge inventory of new Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram vehicles. And right now, get 0% financing for 72 months plus no payments until spring on new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeeps, and Rams' models. Plus, you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With the friendly team of brand experts, those at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram are there to help you during each step of your car shopping journey. And since they prioritize affordability, you know you won't overpay for the vehicle you need. And with Ray's Price Promise, you can shop confidently with no add-ons and no hidden fees ever. The price you see is the price you pay. Go check out our partner today to shop one of the Chicago area's largest inventories, find the right new vehicle for you, and drive home happy. Don't miss out on the Ray Resolution Sales Event for huge savings on new models. For more info, visit raycdjr.com or their location on Route 12 in Fox Lake, serving the community since 1963.
All right, we're back, and it is time to enter the frat house on Madison. And our featured frat boy today is Connor Bedard. Scored an empty net goal, 3 shots on goal, a total of 8 shot attempts, and credit with the takeaway and 3 giveaways. Oh, my.
He had at least 4 broken ankles out there
He
tonight,
was
too.
making some insane plays today that just couldn't get finished. There was one he set up to Bertuzzi where he kind of put the brakes on like a step back 3 and put the puck right on his tape, and I think maybe caught Bertuzzi off guard a little bit. Got a shot on goal, but just an incredible move. Had a handful of those tonight. Really liked Bedard's game.
Yeah, I mean it's been really nice to get him back since the shoulder injury, and the team just plays differently with him. And you have a guy that we've been talking about the last couple of games, like keeping it simple and letting the game come to you and all that. Bedard can do that. He can also take charge of the game, and that's when you have a guy that can do that. It adds an element to your attack, and yeah, I mean a couple of those highlight plays, stick handling plays, weaving through the defense. Like if one of those goes in, like I think we're a little bit more excited about the highlights of the game tonight.
Yeah.
On top of the win, but. Great to have him like playing that way, playing with that confidence. It's just great to see, because if he's playing like that, then more good things are on the way.
Well, there was the fun little clip. It's out there on the highlight of the empty netter. Ilya Mikheyev passes him the puck and he shoots it, and he turns around and he's kind of like laughing. He goes, I almost missed that. So having a little fun out there as well. But yeah, there were a couple plays on that second period power play, the play to set up Bertuzzi. And then he did another one where he shook off 2 Winnipeg defenders, and then he quickly puts the shot off, and it just raises above the net. And then Hellebuck robbed him.
Yeah.
A couple moments later. Was it Bertuzzi hit the post, and then he was right there? And
you saw Bedard do the hands on the knees like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, so good night for him. 20 goals on the season, but Blashill talked about him this morning too, about how like the chances are there. He just needs a little time to get that back in that groove, and I think tonight was a good sign that he's getting really close to returning to that form he was at when he got hurt.
Well, I think too, like we've talked a lot about simplifying the game, but I think you can still do the things Connor Bedard was doing tonight and keep the game. Like he was still doing those in context of getting the puck to the net or creating a scoring chance. Like I think what we're talking about is not necessarily getting into the zone, dumping and chasing, and then putting the first puck that you can on net. That's not what we're saying. But I think sometimes Connor would try to do the fancy stuff where it just wasn't there, right? We saw in his first 2 years, I'm 1-on-3 and my teammates are changing. I'm going to split these 3 guys.
Yeah.
Oh crap, the puck's off the other way, and now we're in deep trouble, right? Like it's those sort of things that you want to minimize. I don't mind him trying to spinorama or break an ankle or do his I don't even know what you call that step back move he did today. Those are all fine as long as ultimately it is the safe play and it's the play to get the puck to the net, and that's what they were almost every time. So that's fine. Play fancy, but do it at the right time. Pick your spots, and that's when he starts to do. It's almost like the same way we talk about Caleb Williams, is we've seen him pull off the spectacular, and when he masters the simple, oh my God, look the F out.
I don't know if you guys saw it. There was a play. I was one of the first shifts of the game. Bedard was skating towards the Blackhawks bench coming off the ice, and Toews was on the ice coming through the middle, right around the face-off dot. And he kind of slowed up and like gave him a shoulder on the way by, kind of like, this is my team now, Grandpa. And if you remember, he threw a couple checks on Kane on Kane's return night. So I thought that was kind of fun, where he's just kind of like, yeah, you used to be big here, but I am big here right now. Don't forget that.
I like it.
Was the Kane return night the game where he said, "That's effing soft, stay on your feet" or something like that? Was that night?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
What a great clip. Love that.
Yeah.
He's
a competitor, man.
I want Connor Bedard to have that edge to his game. And that, I mean, we saw it, the Ducks game, where he was jawing at the bench as his empty net shot is going in. When he's playing confidently and has that, like, FU mentality, like, he's just on another level.
A little swagger goes a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I think that everyone, Jonathan Toews sort of admitted it too, like, okay, all this milestone stuff is out of the way, right? Like, now I can just play hockey. I don't have to worry about my first game back in Chicago. I don't have to worry about, 900 points. I don't have to worry about I just want to play. I just want to think about hockey and play hockey. And now the Hawks are past it. Jonathan Toews has made his return. Patrick Kane's made his return. And now let's just focus on the next generation of the Blackhawks, and that's where we are. So I think we're all ready for it. We've given everyone their flowers, and we're ready for the next step. Now it is time to give out our Game Day Men's Health Game Puck. Better father, better husband, better man. Go to Game Day Men's Health. Visit GameDayCHGO.com to find locations closest to you. The Game Puck winner today is Spencer Knight with a 32-save shutout. He was outstanding, especially early in the game.
Deservedly
when the
so.
Jets kind of came out really taking it to the Hawks. I think shots were 10-2 or something, 10-4.
Yeah, it was
at some point in the
lopsided
first.
early. Yeah.
According to Natural Stat Trick, Spencer Knight had an expected goal of 3.82 or 3.86 expected goals against at all strengths tonight.
Damn.
And faced 11 high danger shots.
And he gave up 0.
And to put that in a little bit of perspective, Connor Hellebuck faced 4 high danger shots all night.
Jeez.
And one of them was not the Jason Dickinson
right,
goal.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, it's just you can't overstate how important it is to have a guy like that for this group, for the now and for the future. Someone that you can trust to bail you out a game sometimes, and sometimes win you a game where all you can generate is one kind of random fluky goal, and you take it and you run with it to the tune of a shutout win. So deserved to get the game puck tonight for Spencer Knight. Hopefully this is a win that this team can kind of feed off of and go on a little run here would be nice.
They got a tough stretch
coming
up.
They do.
They got the.
But you know what?
They got the NASCAR division.
Sometimes they lose games that they should win and win games that they should lose. So who knows?
They got the Hurricanes on Thursday, an ESPN game. Blech. They got the Tampa Bay Lightning here on Friday, another ESPN game.
Black Jersey night.
And then Sunday, the back-to-back champs, the Florida Panthers, with Matthew Tkachuk.
All right. No Seth Jones.
I was going to say, not Seth Jones.
Right. And
no. You get a welcome montage?
No, and well, see, now we
he's
got to
already
wait till
been
next
back,
year.
right? Hasn't he?
I thought.
No,
I guess not.
So now they can avoid that. That's you were talking about flowers. You got to wait till next year for that.
I don't think they'll throw a dandelion out there right off the landscaping. We do want to shout out Spencer and Chloe and Patrick for all their help with our takeover tonight at the United Center. Thanks to everybody who came out. We had 20 people in there.
It was a lot
Got
of
to
fun.
hang out with a lot of great people. Danny Wirtz and Jamie Faulkner stopped by and realized, wow, the game's on. These people are really locked in. Everybody was watching the game. So really demonstrating what CHGO diehards are all about. So thank you so much to everybody that showed up. We know in the suite, it's a pricey ticket. It was a horrible night temperature-wise. So thanks to everybody who made it. Thanks for eating up all the food, drinking up all the drinks. And it was another great, successur takeover.
Most of the food.
Most of the food.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting the chicken tenders in your backpack.
I do have them in my backpack currently.
You're just telling me this now?
I forgot I had them until
they're in the warming pouch of the backpack.
We emptied the plastic cups and filled the bag of plastic cups with chicken tenders.
Oh no! Don't admit that. We'll never be allowed back in the suites.
They're really gonna miss that bag.
They'll never know. They'll never know.
Yeah, they're paid for.
Yeah, and yeah, the suites all renovated. They have
it looks great.
They now look like they were built in 2025, not 1995, and spacious. They got bars set up all over. You got. What I think what's really cool about the 400 level now is it's not just the suites. Like you can actually go up there and it's ticketed seating. So that's pretty cool to have that available. And yeah, it was a great time and got a win, so it's good.
Love it. All right, we'll be back on Wednesday. We're off tomorrow. No practice tomorrow, so it's a Hawk-free day for everybody. So stay home, thaw out, and enjoy your couch. We'll be back Wednesday at 3. with more Blackhawks content. They'll probably practice Wednesday morning, I would assume. So we'll talk to you then on CHGO Blackhawks.
We all silly like the mayor.